Hello and welcome to Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 2. This is going to be Game 2 of a Best of 2 series between Command 5 and Cafeteria Fraiche. Well, as for your casters, I'm GrandisV, and I'll be joined once again by Mike Loris. What did you think of Game 1?
Oh, it was a long one, and whenever there's a really long game that's not a complete farm fest, you always have to be a little bit happy about that. Command 5, they actually made a little bit of a swap out. We have another player in here. It's Hesta Joe standing in for Lonely, I believe, was the
Yes.
last player to be. Well, he's not here anymore, so you've been replaced, Brewmaster. But Command 5, yeah, coming through with the really farmed Mirana, and I think you said it at the very tail end of that game, but you wouldn't expect a Mirana to out-carry a Morphling.
Reserve time.
But in the end, that's what they were able to do. They just had so much gold advantage over the Morphling, and well, Mirana, although you don't think of her as the best position 1 carry, if she is 6-slotted and your Morphling pretty much only has defensive items plus an Ethereal Blade, it's just not going to work out for you. As for this game, however, the first couple bans coming out, Lycanthrope, Faceless Void, banned out by Command 5, Doom, Viper, banned out by Cafeteria Fraiche. No big surprises anywhere, as Brewmaster is picked up first by Command 5.
And then Cafeteria Fresh are going to respond with a Skywrath Razor combination.
Razor, come on, Skywrath.
Pick.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a little bit more Skywrath than Shadow Shaman. Oh, damn.
Oh.
Tidehunter.
Well, Tidehunter is still a really solid offlaner that offers a lot of good teamfight, especially on the Radiant side. It's fairly hard to get him to be completely zoned out of lane, and he'll at least be able to get something. I don't know, Tidehunter's still a solid pick, although Shadow Shaman, I don't know, I was feeling it too. I thought almost for sure, so Cafeteria Fraiche surprising us, but not very much.
Yeah, I mean, with the Brewmaster pickup on the other end, you would think that picking up a top-tier support that happens to be really good against the opponent's first pick would be the clear choice of action, but actually, no. None of the supports are going to be chosen the first phase. I don't think I've seen this, not in many, many games. This is kind of weird, actually. Centaur and Tidehunter, they're both really strong, yes, but no supports. That's kind of weird.
I expect Shadow Shaman, Skywrath Mage, Earthshaker, and one more support to be banned out.
You think all 4 of them are going to get the hate?
10
At least the 3. Earthshaker's already been taken out. I think Shadow Shaman and Skywrath Mage are going to follow suit.
seconds.
But we have the
Well, I mean-
Invoker, so...
Dyer's bang.
Invoker's your free one. Shadow Shaman. Cafeteria Fresh do get the first pick, so I don't think
They'll
it would
leave
be
it
smart
in.
for them to ban
Yeah.
out that Skywrath.
They're not going to ban it out, I don't think. No,
Oh.
they're not going to pick it up. That's
But you're
actually
right.
pretty surprising.
You're right, though.
Yeah. I thought I wasn't going to be, since they had first pick. I thought they'd pick that up for themselves. I don't know, very interesting. I wonder what Cafeteria Fraiche have in mind with this next pickup.
Witch doctor.
Well, that is going to open the door for some weird supports, and I love me some weird supports. There's one right there in the Witch Doctor. Not really the best hero, the best support hero to have when you don't have a Faceless Void on your team, though Ravage into Death Ward is certainly a very capable combo. It's just Witch Doctor really struggles against Brewmaster. Once you split, you could do whatever you want with that Witch Doctor.
Yeah, there's very little that you actually need to be worried about when your Brewmaster split, because you have, at the very least, one BKB unit that you're able to cancel the Witch Doctor's channeling with that Earth Panda. So you can just Boulder Toss the Witch Doctor, or if you don't have to worry about any other AoE lockdown. And oh my goodness, I love this. I don't even know why. Huskar is the pick for Command 5. It's going to be aggressive, it's going to be furious, and with Centaur Brewmaster behind it, this early mid-game is going to be pretty scary. I have no idea where this came from, but honestly, I'm already excited.
Now, I love me some Huskar. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. This game, though, this game is not a Huskar game.
No, it's
because
not.
We take a quick look at the physical count of Cafeteria Fresh. They've got Razor with Static Link. A Huskar that is only applying Burning Spears is not a happy one. They have Anchor Smash. That's going to lower his damage even further. They have to go up against Death Ward. They have to worry about Eidolons and Black Holes. This Huskar is not going to have a fun time.
Okay, hear me out with this. They pick up Shadow Demon next with the Huskar. The build I want to see from Huskar this game is Ethereal Blade Veil.
Reserve
Okay.
time.
That's,
Or
that's
I
it.
could see an Ethereal Blade on Huskar, or maybe you go for a Pugna and get that to Decrepify so you don't even need to do that.
Yeah, or we can see the Ethereal Blade Centaur Warrener. Like, people were theory crafting, that can do a whole heck of a lot of hurt if you get Blink into Ethereal Blade on him. And then Huskar can build normally, and we'll just see him instigate people. Get an Aghanim Scepter so he can bounce around every 4 seconds.
You just want to see an Ethereal Blade.
I do. I think that's the combo
Well, I
I want to
mean,
see.
cross your fingers for Commander 5 picking up a Morphling, because if they do, for whatever reason, then, well, that'll be the hero to pick up Ethereal Blade, as I think it's probably the hero that most often picks that item up, and by I think, I mean, I'm almost 100% sure. But Morphling would actually be pretty good on the Cafeteria Fresh side, because they're still looking for one more core hero. They already have their supports active, and Wraith King, Ancient Apparition going to be the bans out. I think Cafeteria Fresh might go for that hero with Morphling, or maybe even a Weaver in this game.
I would be more on board with Weaver, to be honest, because if you pick up the Morphling, you're going to be dealing with a Brewmaster that can split a Centaur Warner that's going to naturally build tanky, presumably build the Hood. Then you have a Huskar that once you get him down low, he's going to have an absurd magic resist, and although Morphling can pump out a lot of physical damage, the majority of his damage is going to be from that magical shotgun burst. So I don't know, I think I'd like the Weaver a little bit better, because honestly, Commander 5 don't have the best heroes to deal with a Weaver. They have the Centaur War Stomp, which is nice, and they also have the Brewmaster Split, but if Weaver goes BKB Desolator, I think he could have a really fun game this game.
Yeah, and Weaver is also almost unkillable as far as Commander 5's lineup is concerned, because they only have one stun in the Centaur. They'll have the Rock eventually, but you could very easily keep yourself safe from that. Huskar is terrible versus the Weaver.
Yeah, I think that would be a solid last pickup for Cafeteria Fresh, although in the hopes of seeing this Huskar be an absolute menace and winning the game for Commander 5, we'll hope that they don't pick up a Weaver. But yeah, I think that would be a really good 5th pick.
Yeah, normally I don't really care who wins in these games, but this game, and pretty much all future games, if you pick up a Huskar, I'm rooting for you. Like, that's just going to happen.
Yeah, I think my list is pretty much Huskar and Spirit Breaker right now. Bloodseeker, kind of, to a certain extent, but those three.
10 seconds to
The more
go.
you deviate from the meta, the more support I'm going to be giving you. But Capture Your Fresh, looks like we are right on the money. They are going to be going for the Weaver. So going to get a core with a lot of damage, with a lot of survivability in Commander 5. They need a stun. They need some way to lock down this Weaver, or a silence, or something like that. A Wraith King would have been okay, but they do have a Shadow Demon setup. Maybe a support Mirana here?
I'd be game for support Mirana, but it really has to be on the money. Like, if Commander 5 haven't practiced with that supporting duo before, I wouldn't like that pick at all. Potentially a Leshrac or Alina as well, but also very timing-oriented, especially when you're dealing with a Weaver. They'll go for the puck? Huh, support Brewmaster, I think.
Well, I mean, with this new, or with the different stand-in, the roles might be swapped up a little bit more, but yeah, it is actually going to be a roaming support Brewmaster, and the way that usually works is that it's very, very weak early on, but once you get level 6, it doesn't really matter because everyone is still going to be vulnerable to your ultimate. Shadow Demon setup for Brewmaster is not the worst, but it's certainly not the best.
Yeah, as much as I want Commander 5 to win this game because they picked a Huskar, it's not looking great. Their draft is going to be very snowball oriented. If they get off to a good early start and this Weaver doesn't get online, I don't know if they could be in a good situation, but I just don't see that happening. How much better are they really going to be able to put on a Weaver in lane? And then later on, once Weaver has 2 items, I think he's going to be the strongest hero on the field by far. But we'll see how it pans out as soon as we load into the game.
In Cafeteria Fresh, they also have this team fight thing going on because, as I mentioned before, Tidehunter into Death Ward is, it's a pretty solid combination, but add a Black Hole on top of that, and suddenly Black Dynamite's Death Ward is going to be, well, it's living up to his name, let's say. It will be putting out lots of death, and K5, they will have a lot of tanky heroes in the Centaur, the Brewmaster, and the Huskar, but at a certain point, you can only stand for so long within those big AoE ultimates. But we're now in the game, and it looks like there will be the customary 2-minute pause in the beginning, so let's see who's going to be playing what on the Cafeteria Fresh side. We got Lacat, who played a pretty mean Clockwork last game. He's going to be handling the Tidehunter up top. SMN is once again going to be on his Razor. Wasn't entirely impressed, but we'll see if he changes my mind. Clinch is going to be on the Enigma in the jungle. Baron is on the Weaver farming, and Black Dynamite is going to be supporting that Weaver as the Witch Doctor.
And on the K5 side, we're going to have a tri-lane of sorts being built by Van Art, playing on the Centaur Warner with Jesse, playing on the Shadow Demon. The support Brewmaster going to be taken up by Master Risk, leaving our mid puck to be played by Joe Rotten, and the safe lane Huskar going to be played by Matris, who played a really beastly Mirana last game, so we'll have to see if he's going to come up with some sort of repeat performance. Shadow Demon Centaur is one of very strong lane as long as they get their levels up early. The setup into the War Stomp with the double edge amplified by the, Soul Catcher, it can do a whole lot of work. Honestly, I think the biggest problem I have with this is that Master Risk just doesn't feel like he fits into this lane. Had that been a support Mirana, maybe that could be a solid duo to put some pressure onto this Weaver, but right now I'm just not feeling it.
They're just going to throw all the beefy heroes in at the same time after the disruption and hope Cafeteria Fresh crumble under the pressure. I don't even think they could get a kill on Baron, even if they do get the perfect hoof stomp without him Shikuchiing away, which, first of all, isn't going to happen, but it'll be Black Dynamite who's really got to be careful in this lane. Master Risk and Juicy, they can definitely go for ganks on the mid lane in the Razor, though not until Hestejo gets a couple more levels. They need the puck to be contributing a good deal of magic damage. But up on top, in the meantime, Matrice will be going 1v1 versus the Cat on Tidehunter. Now, I said before, Tidehunter Anger Smash is really good against Tidehunter. That's not at this stage. Right now, Burning Spears reigns supreme, and really there aren't many heroes that have a good time with that. It'll be later on, once the Huskar is actually looking to get some kills, where he jumps into Life Break. Anchor Smash shuts him down at that stage. But until then, the Burning Spears will be really nice for the Huskar.
Yeah. Huskar used a lot of HP to throw Burning Spears towards those illusions, as they are fairly tanky and sometimes hard to differentiate between the actual heroes, so it took him a while to find out where everything was going. Jesse's going to disrupt the Enigma's farm, at the very least by soaking some experience. I like this move by the Shadow Demon, especially if he's not going to be able to get much out of sitting in the lane. At the very least, he's going to be able to pick up some more. A little bit of Miss Micro, and he actually steals the last hit. So Jesse, off to a good start. That's 103 experience for him, as well as 73 gold. Really hurting the Enigma.
Yeah, Clinch can't feel too good about that one. As an Enigma, you are genuinely regarded as one of the fastest junglers in the game. With Juicy annoying him like this, it's just so difficult. And we saw this last game. He did the exact same thing versus as the Lich. So just disrupting the Enigma's farm as much as you possibly can is really, really useful. And it slows down the Enigma more than it would seem.
Yeah, I mean, once you kill one of these Eidolons, he's not even going to be able to take this Mud Golem camp without it being stolen by Jesse. And so, yeah, Jesse takes a lot of harass damage in return, but he's already stolen multiple creeps from this Enigma. And now, with a little backup coming out from Black Diamond, he is going to be forced back and probably has to use some regen. But he might also get the regeneration rune here. He is going to salve up and save that for another hero, as Clinch is the one caught out by the Thunderclap after the disruption. He does pick up the regeneration rune for a little bit of extra mana. So, I don't know, that self pretty much wasted on the Shadow Demon, but in the end, nobody is going to die. Tidehunter actually taking a whole heck of a lot of harass. With only one more tango, he's pretty much going to be reserved to just soaking experience. As far as this Huskar's build this game, do you think he's going to go for a mechanism, or are those just going to be Tranquil Boots?
I wouldn't be too surprised to see him pick up a mech. The Centaur would probably much rather not go for that item and just go straight for a Blink Dagger as SMN. It's going to be forced to flee into the dire jungle to try to escape this ganking party of Brewmaster and Shadow Demon. However, Shadow Demon kind of split away. SMN can feasibly turn around and get a kill on one of these heroes, or he's going to get hit with the slam, and then the damage drain Master Risk is going to be hitting for almost literally no damage, and, well, not quite literally no damage, but still, in the meantime, that's Joe. He's going to get stunned up by the Enigma. He doesn't have a phase shift. The Eidolon's not doing that much damage, but it's enough. Juicy almost getting disruption, but I think he canceled it. Puck is going to be your first blood. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, Puck should not be killed up by the Enigma, but the harass that the Razor had done to him previously, it was enough damage, and, well, Enigma makes up for his slow start with that little bit of extra gold, now finishing his Soul Ring while on his way towards his boots, and, well, despite the early annoyance of the Shadow Demon, he'll be online for a very quick mechanism for his team. If he needs to go for it, we might even be seeing a similar build to last game where he gets an early BKB, or Blink.
Right, you asked me about the mech on Huskar. I think it is probably the build for him, because the no one else on K5 actually wants to be going for that item, and having a mech early on is just so incredibly useful. The effective HP that you get from a mech is going to help you out a lot with Berserker Blood, so you kind of get double value as far as that is concerned. And Huskar only has one skill, and I mean, he doesn't really rely on mana at all in order to cast that skill because he doesn't even have it. So it's probably the best chance for them, and you can see how much dominance this Huskar is asserting on this lane. He's basically playing like a Viper, and Tidehunter can't do anything about it. He has a point in Gush, so he could possibly leave the lane, but there's no chance he's getting any more experience up here.
Yeah, for sure. He's forced to get in the Tranquil Boots for the Tidehunter, and, well, although I usually hate Tranquil Boots on Tide, I think it's worthwhile, as down bottom we might have a little bit of action, but the Shadow Team is nowhere to be found, so no. Just going to be some posturing coming out from the Dire team. But yeah, with his Tranquil Boots pick up on the Titan Hunter, we'll be able to pick up experience, but he's not going to be last hitting very much at all, with the exception of a couple Anchor Smash last hits. Yeah, I do like the mechanism choice on Demetrius. As you said, he doesn't have much else that he needs to use the mana for, and I think it's just a really good value item for his team, and frees up the Blink Dagger for Van Aert a lot easier.
Although I think a Phase Boots at this stage would be really great for chasing down the cat,
Oh,
who
yeah.
is, by the way, in a little bit of trouble. Although Huskar doesn't have level 6 just yet, so no kills until he gets that.
Yep. I don't know. If he wants to deviate for phase boots or treads even, I'd be totally game for that. I think phase boots in lane is usually a little bit better, but yeah. We'll have to see. As there's smoke up from the Enigma, might be able to make something happen, but they really don't have that much damage. They're going to be relying a lot on the Eidolons, and potentially they'll be able to get it. Do we have a Gush coming out from Lacat? We do have 1 point into it. He gets the Anchor Smash, Gush coming out, but now here comes the trade. He gets his level 6, and now it's turning onto Lacat. Lacat might burn down, but it looks like Matrix is going to give up his life at the very least. The 5 stacks onto him, Lacat will burn. So yeah, good rotation coming out for the Enigma. They're putting a little bit of pressure on the Huskar, which is nice, I suppose.
You don't really want to have a Huskar who's having all the space in the world. And Huskar, he's going to be going for that mech, as they do throw a cask up on bottom lane. Van Aert does have that 1 point in return, and it's actually doing quite a bit of work versus these enemy heroes. He's almost at his level 6 mark. In the meantime, mid lane, they get initiation on SMN. They demolish him, as Juicy does barely manage to escape with 30 HP. Razor almost managing to secure that kill, but just very easy rotation, using the Dream Coil there for the first time. Hesta Joe, 24 for 9 versus the 21 for 4. So the mid lane, fairly even, but the Puck having a slight edge there.
Yeah, Brewmaster as well as Shedidym both reserved to sit at level 3 currently, as they just haven't been able to find very much until that point. So at least able to make up a little bit of ground and get closer to level 4. As Master Race shows himself in lane up against Baron, it kind of flags that the Puck is down here. He doesn't have Drinkle for another 45 seconds, and he might go for Black Dynamite. He face shifts forward, and with that double damage just hitting so darn hard, he might get turned on with the bug on top of him. He does have a phase shift, and I think he'll be just fine. Weaver can't really dive into that one, and it looks like that's going to trade him. He has a Shikuchi, but will back off.
Yeah, Hesta Joe playing the Puck as the aggressive pace-setting hero, as he should. And, well, Juicy going up towards the top lane, can lay down an Observer Ward, but he will recognize the fact that Singe is, well, he's here and laying down some pretty serious hurt with those Eidolons, but Matrice going to jump forward for a life break onto Lacat. Will start laying down some fire, but instantly he'll try to run away, but instantly Black Diamond there with the stun. Lacat will burn down for this one. Can Matrice get the kill? He will not get the kill first. That's crucial. That means he's still not getting experience from this one. This Huskar, he's getting some kills, but in the end, they're all just trades where he's getting the lower end of those trades.
At the same time, it's still Clinch that's not farming away in the jungle, so it's slowing down the Enigma a little bit, but not that much, to be honest. Huskar will almost have his mechanism completed if he doesn't want to go for the boots upgrade first. But I don't know, if he had like treads or something else, he might have been able to trade more effectively, as there's a cast thrown and Master Risk. Will it bounce back to him? It will not, and he'll be just fine.
Huskar's back, and he's pissed. Black Dynamite has no stun. There's the life break instantly into the Ravage, though. Huskar's suddenly doing not much damage. He's going to lay down a lot of fire onto the Witch Doctor. He will definitely burn. Master Risk will not let that happen, though, as the clap does kill him off. And now Lacat, he's also burning. How do you like your fish? Because this one's going to be burnt to a crisp.
Wonderful. Yeah, those maxed out spears are just doing way too much damage, and even though his actual right clicks are doing next to nothing, Matra is still going to make it a good trade up in top, as he's now 3-2-1. Although he hasn't been the one playing very aggressive, except for in lane, the rotations have all been coming to him. He's been able to make good usage of that. Now Master Risk sitting at level 5 as well as Jussie. So these supports are looking to be pretty good. As soon as we get to level 6 on Master Risk, he's pretty much just going to be the same old Brewmasters. Well, Puck has also shown his face up top, and it looks like they want to take this T1.
Yeah, if the Brewmaster was soloing the mid lane, he would be at about Puck's level at level 8, so he would have that right now, but I don't really think the distinction is going to matter too much, as the cask is thrown. We'll bounce a couple of times, but Matrice with the mech active is more than willing to make a fight happen. I think it's even time to use it for the team right now, because they're not looking too healthy, but they're just going to put a little bit of pressure on this top lane. Tower won't really get anything out of that. The Puck is still looking to pick up his Blink Dagger, as is Van Aert on the bottom lane. So everyone from K5, they just want to wait just for a little while, pick up their Blink Daggers. Once they have that, then it's go time.
Yeah. And, well, as far as Blink Dagger status on the Centaur, still saving up decent way away from it, about 900 gold or so. Puck also not too close, but more than halfway there. Yeah, so that's really the timing that they want to hit. This Huskar has his mechanism, and then once he gets his power treads online, with that mechanism, and then the blink daggers on the other two heroes. That's when the aggression's really going to start picking up. But as for the early game, K5 are going to be pretty happy with this, although their other cores aren't CSing very well. Huskar is still doing fine in lane and has picked up 3 kills.
And he's going to continue applying pressure to this top lane. Lacat is here, but can't really do much about this because we've shown that Huskar, though he was not doing much damage after he does get anchor smashed, that maxed out Burning Spears, if he lays down 5-6 charges of that fire on the Tidehunter, then well, he's not going to last for very long. So Matrice is going to be respected up on top. As in the meantime, Hester Joe working towards his Blink Dagger, only 500 away, whereas Centaur only 300 away. Hester Joe, though, finds a double damage rune. Possibly that'll make him make a rotation up towards top, but it looks like that's going to be ultimately unnecessary, as his tower is finally going to be brought down. They'll take this one out, and I don't think there's going to be any chance for Cafeteria Fresh to deny this one.
Yeah. Let's see who gets the last hit. It will be the Puck who gets the destroying the towers. So a little bit of extra gold going into his pocket and will secure himself the gold for the Blink Dagger. So that's one online, and Centaur also going to pick up his simultaneously. This is go time for K5. They can start grouping up and looking for those initiations, or just pick off his Weaver. He's actually going to get soloed up by the Centaur, just that Blink Hoof Stop, and now the Puck has also joined the Phrase. They Dream Call up the poor Enigma. He's going to get silenced, a double edge, double kill for Van Art, and well, just like that, up in top, we have the Ravage going to be made solo on Matrix. He's going to do very less damage. He's also going to be Malfist up. The Disruption will delay things for now. Now the split comes out from the Brewmaster. Matrix can't really turn into that. He's going to die one way or another, but I don't think he'll take down for that because of the increased resist. Well, who is going to take down? Possibly he's going to be RMN. There's not going to be a Boulder Toss. It was actually fairly delayed by the Brewmaster, but SMN might fall. They need a little bit more damage. He needs to back off with the Green Panda. He needs one more guaranteed crit. Will he be able to turn for it? Doesn't get the clap off. Will he be able to get in range? It looks like Master Risk is going to give his life for this. Will he get the kill? No! The Gemini attack comes out from the Weaver, and the tower gets the last hit. Very unfortunate that he went for the crit first instead of the clap, but in the end, it is going to be a Brewmaster down.
Could you get more greedy, Brewmaster? Like, really chasing all the way back there for a Razor who's being constantly healed by a Witch Doctor is incredibly ambitious from him, so he's going to end up giving his life. I know, it's only a support hero, but that could have been just an easy get in, get out, smash and grab for K5, but ultimately they lose a little bit more than they have to. The great thing for them is, though, the Huskar didn't die. Like, it looked so bad for the Huskar. He took a Ravage to the face. He was disrupted by his friendly while SMN was stealing his damage. Can't really ask for, like, a worse situation, but Clinch, in the meantime, he's jungling, and Juicy will instantly put him into that bubble with the Curse, and Blink Clap. Double Edge is going to destroy this Enigma. Yeah, Double Edge with only 1 point Soul Catcher, it still does a lot of damage.
Yep, and now the Tidehunter being pursued by the Puck. He does have the Dream Coil, not going to throw it, as he doesn't have enough backup there. But putting a lot of hurt to the Tidehunter, and he'll probably be forced back to base. And well, with the Blink, Puck might be looking for initiation. Nope. No, he's actually going in with the Hoof Stomp coming out from Van Art. They'll be able to find the Witch Doctor as well. Dream Coil commit into the trees. He overshoots the Illusory Orb a little bit, but with the Center Ultimate, they should be able to get Black Dynamite. Double Edge, he's going to be exploded. They do have the Malphus going the way of Van Art, and Van Art is going to take a decent amount of damage for that, although I'm not sure it's going to be enough with that extra ticks of damage. Let's see. Will he be able to TP out in time? He will, as 40 HP, and not a very high level Maledict coming out from the Witch Doctor. Actually, only level 1, which quite honestly is a pretty bad spell.
Hester Joe will be chased down by the Weaver. I think there's another Plasma Field coming shortly. It will be completely dodged. Here comes Patrice with that mech. He's going to put some fire onto the Weaver, but only one stack will actually land. Master Risk is there to cut him off, but unfortunately the Weaver runs off to the left, and looks like Weaver should be fine to scuttle his way out of there. Master Risk has another split, and he's going to go toe-to-toe with SMN. Is it time for round 2? Black Dynamite's going to throw a stun. Master Risk dropping pretty low. He'll try to TP out, but he might be forced to split instead. He will go back to the base, but he'll die once there.
Unfortunate for the Brewmaster. I thought he would just go for the clap split there and try to turn, but now in mid, S-Man gonna get caught out by the double edge Illusory Orb to get the kill from Etso Rotten, and now they're looking for Black Dynamite. Jump in from aforementioned Joe Rotten, but not going to be able to pursue him as the cast got some good bounces. I know, Centaur still is looking for blood, and for now it is going to calm down. Witch Doctor's positioning is very peculiar here up in the high ground. Will he be able to get a good ultimate off, but he's being pursued. He's caught out. Silenced up Illusory Orb. That should be enough damage. Illusory Orb jaunt, and now Centaur kill still with one auto attack, and that's going to be about it. Zero and Tower not looking too healthy in mid. K5 for putting this aggressive lineup to really good use at this point before the Weaver is able to actually pick up any items. Yeah, I haven't seen it just yet, but I want to see the Saturday disruption into the ultimate from Huskar as, oh my goodness, Weaver just gets obliterated. They drop a Ravage. It's going to land on 2 decently. The mechanism is not enough mana on the Huskar. Unfortunately, if he had the power charge, maybe he'd be able to get that. Ooh, let's see. He's trying to turn. There's an illusion rune there. Not going to do very much as the puck cleans up another kill yet again. And now they're potentially looking for more as the Tidehunter is there. And on the retreat is Matris. He still needs the extra mana, but with the Brewmaster Arcane Boots, 40 seconds, not able to get that at all. So in the end, 2 for 1.
K5, they're not half-assing this game at all. Like, when they see a target, they're going for him, and they're just launching everything that they have. I think that was actually the first time they let someone get away because they physically could not chase any longer. They like couldn't apply any more skills or anything because they were all tapped out of mana. So, yes, Cafeteria Fresh, this is a completely different game than game number 1. I mean, Baron is not getting any free space to farm. He's constantly getting obliterated by this Blink Centaur. It's really hard to counter that. Also, Blink Puck has the silence, so no Shikuchi, no time lapse, nothing like that. So, yeah, K5, they're really putting the screws to Cafeteria Fresh right now, and even though Cafeteria do have a Ravage, it's just not enough. I mean, last time it only hit on Shadow Demon as well as the Huskar. They couldn't even kill this Huskar. He's going full tanky with 2 Ogre Clubs and a Belt of Strength. What the hell? Black Dynamite is going to walk in the wrong neighborhood. It's a trap as Tidehunter does manage to secure the Shadow Demon up top. But it's a 1-for-1 support trade as, well, now K5, they're looking for more blood. They have a Dream Coil, they have Split, they have Stampede. It's time for blood. Even if they're walking into 4, I think they're going to be okay with taking this fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. They're all waiting in the wings. They don't have a Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter. No great way to initiate. They're pinging out Master Risk. And Master Risk looks like he's going to be the cause of this. Will he be able to get split off? He will. And now with this War Stuff, it's not going to land on much except for Baron. Baron's invis and not going to be focused down. His Clinch taking too much. There's the Black Hole. Catches out all of the Brewlings as well as the Centaur. And while being focused down, Weaver's just not doing enough damage with the double edge. Centaur's just secured his own death as well. The Brewmaster should be able to back out the puck. Not going to be so lucky as a double kill for SMN. And now the Brewmaster is next on the list. They get vision with the Plasma Field trying to TP out of there. I don't think he's going to be able to make it with the damage be there. No, it actually won't. Satyr almost stole that kill there with the, I don't know, Hadouken Blast. What do you call that? Shockwave. Either way, Brewmaster is back in base.
I think SMN actually missed one of his 2 attacks there because of the, level 2 Junkin Brawler. So Brewmaster catching a lucky break there. But K5, they're just manning up at, like, every single possible turn. Even in that stage where you know that you see a Tidehunter, you see an Enigma in such close quarters, it's a really bad idea to man up. They just went for it anyway. Like, they don't care. They're just going to go in and see what happens. And, oh, Huskar. Oh, baby. Please tell me, yes, it's in Aghanims for him. This is the weirdest Huskar build I've ever seen in my entire life.
Absolutely. I was expecting potentially, like, a Sanj or SNY maybe even, with the way that they're playing so aggressively, but I love the Aghanim Scepter Rush on him. Honestly, if you're going to get just casual items to tank up, potentially even getting a cloak early on so you can jump with more HP, but now he's going to get ravaged down in bottom Matrix. He's not able to man fight up against it, but with the life break, it's not doing much damage with the mechanism as well as the disruption. He's staying alive decently well. He should die at the very end of the day, and Matrix, he's man fighting for all he's worth, but it won't be enough as well. Enigma is going to take a lot of hurt here and be forced to TP back to base, but he'll be just fine.
The rest of the team's coming in with the Stampede, though. Blink, Stomp will miss the first target. Lacat hiding in the trees. I don't know if that orb spotted him. It might have just on the edge. But unfortunately for K5, they arrive a little bit too late to save their Huskar. And yeah, I mean, we thought, you thought that he was going for Power Tread at the Belt of Giant Strength, and I was thinking the exact same thing. But suddenly, for some reason, 2 Ogre Clubs, these items, like the Ogre Club, Blade of Alacrity, Staff of Wizardry cycle, they're not that cost efficient. So it's a lot of gold for not that much stats. But he's just going for as much strength as he could possibly get his hands on. I think you might actually, I'm not saying you will, I'm saying there's a possibility, you might get your Ethereal Blade wish.
I don't know. I'm hoping for it. We'll have to see. I haven't seen the disruptor disruption into Soulcatcher with the Huskar ultimate on top of it combo just yet. And honestly, the Ethereal Blade's just kind of icing onto that cake, because with Ethereal Blade as well as the Soulcatcher and a Veil, that is literally 100% of their HP is damage. It doesn't matter how much HP you have, if you're a Punch with 10,000 or a Shadow Demon with 600. It's all the same to that combo. Well, Master Risk going to be spotted out by Razor in mid with the Plasma Field, but I don't know, for now, this SMN Razor just plays way too aggressively in both of these games. He just kind of farms out alone. They probably could have gone on him.
He's going to go for an Aghanims this game, which is definitely going to help if you're fighting this often this early. HeflaTV is going to run into the Enigma. It looks like he will back off. But in the meantime, Brewmaster has found enough gold for his Blink Dagger. So that's a Blink Dagger on Centaur, on Puck, and a Force Staff on the Centaur. Also, now Brewmaster having his Blink Dagger. The Huskar has his ultimate, which is, pretty much a Blink Dagger. It gets him from A to B, so it's a tool to get himself into those fights. K5, they could jump in from a very long range, and we might be seeing that on the bottom line as Baron. If he gets stomped, he will get stomped. Double-edged clap. The burst damage will just be there with the Stampede, squishing that bug.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure they'd have enough damage. I thought he'd get time-lapse off, but Stampede was enough. Barely enough damage coming out from those two, but they'll be able to secure the kill on the Weaver, which is just not getting online anytime soon. Weaver has PT's Aquila with a Perseverance and now a Casual Bracer. Well, Casual Bracer could have saved him there in that last little skirmish that happened, or rather, pick off. But in the end, I don't know, this Weaver is just looking pretty sad. Life Break goes away of Roshan, and they'll just start chipping away at him. With the mechanism, they have some decent sustain through us, as well as the maxed out, what's that called? Inner Vitality from the Huskar. And yeah, with the Aghanim Scepter, he's just bouncing away to his heart's content.
Literally, yes, 4 life breaks on Roshan. I've never seen that before, but I think I'm really going to like how this is going to progress. Unfortunately for him, the life break is still only level 1, prioritizing that vitality to get him a little bit more survivability. Hell, you could even slap that on the Centaur, who has a lot of strength, and he's going to be regenerating really quickly. But Huskar, I think next level you get another point life break. That 5% damage taken is not huge, but it might turn out to be an influencing factor.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with him maxing out his heal first, but at this point I think you definitely want is, especially when you're using it so frequently, with the Aghanim Scepter you want as little damage taken as possible.
Van Art and Juicy, they're going to spot out everyone, but Black Dynamite is there. Van Art is also spotted. There's a Ravage onto 2. Can they kill off anyone? Juicy in a little bit of trouble. There's Death Ward from the trees. Van Art will stampede everyone out. HeflaTV and the Brewmaster and Matrice all caught in the black hole. This Huskar might lose the Aegis, but he does pop the mech, and he will stand and fight. He'll jump forward for Lacat, instantly losing the Aegis. However, Centaur gonna get a 3-man stun. Baron and Lacat gonna take a lot of damage as the Tidehunter does go down. Suddenly, the Weaver is the only one alive. He time-lapses right back into the clutches of the Brewmaster, trying to escape, but it's not gonna happen. K5 with a huge mech from the Huskar, use only the Aegis and take 5 heroes home.
Okay.
Centaur is gonna bling himself out in rings, and well, this game is looking to be pretty good for K5.
One of the biggest problems I had with that teamfight was Witch Doctor's positioning when he used his ultimate. They had a really good black hole in this area that caught out the Huskar while he was diving under tower, as well as several other heroes, but the Witch Doctor ultimate just wasn't there to catch him out. It was like channeled over in this area, and it hit absolutely nobody. It was just kind of Witch Doctor doing a little jig. So in the end, K5 find themselves almost a tier 3 richer. Matrice needs to be careful, probably backlines, mech up after Inner Vitality wears off, but I don't know, they're looking really solid.
I think part of that Death Ward placement was the fact that Witch Doctor was stuck back there and actually didn't have a TP, so he couldn't reposition himself, and now jump back in. They're going to get a 2-man stomp slam, everything onto that Enigma. Now the jump forward from the Huskar, going to go for Lacat. Matrice going to start burning him down. Does have a mech, doesn't have another Aegis, so he's finally going to go down, but it's going to be, so far, a 3-for-1 trade. SMN going to try to 1v4 because he's a man. He doesn't have a care in the world, but now he's dead. Baron will try to take out Juicy, but it's not going to happen. GG has been called by SMN, and K5 win this game in astonishing style.
I don't know, that was wonderful coming up from K5, just such an aggressive draft, and I love it. It was lots of fun to watch. They executed well, and in the end, I thought that Cafeteria Fresh had the better draft, but in the end, theirs was a little bit less YOLO, and in the end, it was the YOLO that ended up winning Command of 5 the game, especially after such an exhausting game 1. Maybe they just wanted to get this one over with as fast as possible, because they'd either lose really fast, or, on the other hand, win really fast, and in 23 minutes, they did the latter, so well played.
Yeah, and you know what they say, you only YOLO once, and that's all that they needed. The Huskar, wow, what a hero. We should see this hero literally in every single game. That would make, well, every single game that I cast so amazing, but that's going to be it, guys. It looks like K5 is going to take this very long best of 2 series, or, the first game was very long, the second one not as much. They're going to take it 2-0 over Cafeteria Fresh. If you enjoyed the cast, be sure to follow HeflaTV 2, where we're casting right now. Also go over to HeflaTV 1, where they might still be going.
I think
Looks
they're all
like they
watching
are.
here.
No, they're not.
Oh.
They're all here. So yeah, be sure to follow the channels, Twitter and Facebook. If you want to keep up with HeflaTV, then it's just Twitter and Facebook /HeflaTV. All the VODs will be up on youtube.com/HeflaMoke. So if you enjoyed that, then well, you could watch the Huskar in all his glorious action on YouTube. But I think that should be it for us today.
Yeah, definitely. It's been quite a long day, or at least it feels like it with so many games going on that actually happen. But yeah, in the end, that's going to be it from us for now, and you'll probably see us back here tomorrow or the next day. So thanks for watching. In the end, GG.
GG, guys.